welcome to our YouTube channel. So we are discussing various theories and today we are going to talk about the postmodernism. And specifically we are going to discuss about Lyotard, a very important theorist related to postmodernism. So Jean-Francois Lyotard is a person who talked about meta-narratives. It's a very important concept that he has given. Meta-narratives is basically also called as grand narrative. These are the narratives that are there always present in front of us. But what he said that in this postmodern, recklessly changing world, what we have to do away is the grand narratives. We have to break the grand narratives and move towards the little narratives, also called as the petit narratives. Let us look what actually he is contributing in the field of postmodernism. So this person in front of you is Jean-Francois Lyotard. He was a French philosopher and a literary theorist who talked about postmodernism. So we have already discussed what is the difference between modernism and postmodernism. Modernism started in, you can say somewhat around your World War I. And then people realized that they are fragmented. There are these broken souls. They are not happy. Is there any God? There were different questions that they had and they used to lament. But they had one grand truth. For example, they were searching for God. They were waiting for something grand to happen. But what is this postmodern? This postmodern condition or this postmodernism was an era where people realized that we need to question everything. There can never be one truth only. There can never be one whole perspective that is correct. There can never be one value that is applicable everywhere. There is no one truth that is correct always. So we need to question all social structures, all values, all beliefs, etc., etc. This is what postmodern people were saying. According to postmodernists, the world is very fractured. Yes, we are fragmented, but we need to embrace it. With happy and open arms, they were accepting this change. These were the postmodernists. There are a number of theorists who are associated with postmodernism. We have Lyotard, we have Gilles Deleuze, and there are people who are also related to deconstructionism, post-structuralists, who are somewhat overlapping with postmodernism. Okay, so he is a French philosopher and he is a literary theorist. He is well known for his articulation of postmodernism in the late 1970s and his analysis of that impact on the human condition. So he is looking at the human condition and the fast changing world when we talk about postmodernism. That yes, there were grand narratives, we used to follow everything recklessly and we need to believe everything, but we need to question the things as well. We cannot just close our eyes and agree to what there is, what is happening around us. So the modernist was saying that if you are moving forward, this means that you are moving towards modernism. But is every progress modernism? Is every progress good? This is what the postmodernist people were talking about. He was also the co-founder of the International College of Philosophy with Jacques Derrida, very important figure related to deconstructionism. He has also given many words that and many concepts that are very important, asked in the paper also. We have Francis and we have Gilles Deleuze, right? So Gilles Deleuze is another figure who we will be discussing in the further videos because he's an important person related to postmodernism. The various concepts that he has given, in fact, I would say he gave the most important concept, that is the meta-narratives. Meta-narrative, you also can call it as the grand narrative. The grand narrative versus the little narratives. So what is he saying? He is actually saying that there are some grand narratives. There is one truth that you think that it is correct. It can be called as a grand narrative or it can also be called as a meta-narrative. Say for example, you are saying that if you are moving forward, that's progress. But is it correct? Is you moving forward, maybe you are moving forward in a wrong direction. Maybe you are not looking at the problems that there, you are just blind to the problems that are there in front of you. So you need to question everything. So you need to look at the little narratives that are there in front of you rather than closing your eyes and believing the one grand narrative that is there in front of you. This is what he is talking about. These are the books that he has talked about. Discourse Figure 1971, Libidinal Economy 1974, The Postmodern Condition 1979, The Difference 1983, Lessons on the Analytical of the Sublime in 1991. The most important work that you need to know is the postmodern condition, where he talked about the meta-narrative, or you can call it as grand narrative, versus the petit narratives that you need to believe in. This is what he is saying. So the full name of this book is what? The full name is The Postmodern Condition, A Report on Knowledge. Postmodern Condition, A Report on Knowledge, where he is talking about the human soul and how we need to question the grand narratives, the meta narratives. Meta means whole, and you need to question the wholeness of those things, and you need to rather look at the small narratives. You need to look at the small narratives, the little narratives, the petit narratives that are there in front of you. He believed that the grand narratives of knowledge have lost all credibility in the postmodern society, and their claims for legitimacy has also been lost. He believed that the narratives are very integral part of the culture, and they directly affect the language as well as the society. So if you believe in these narratives, you are actually changing or impacting the society also. So rather it is advisable to question everything, because everything is not black or white. He used language games to contrast the narratives and the scientific knowledge. So he is going to take examples of various games and then talk about the various grand narratives that you are going to question. For example, you can take this example of moving forward. So a lot of people would say, because you are getting better each day, you are taking supplements and you're doing gymming, you're getting better each day. But they won't look at the internal damage that is happening to your body. So these are the grand narratives that taking supplements will help you. But what are the other causes? You were blind to it. That is why you are impacted by it. So the petit narratives, the small narratives, जो हम लोगों ने notice ही नहीं किए हैं, these are also very important. He defines modernism as an attempt to legitimate science by appeal to meta-narratives. He said that these meta-narratives are nothing but philosophical accounts of progress of history, in which the hero or the knowledge struggle towards greater goal. So they say that you believe in these grand narratives to achieve knowledge, to achieve the greater goal, but you do not question these grand narratives. So what is advisable? It is advisable to question everything and look for petit narratives or little narratives rather than meta-narratives. So they can ask you the various works that are written by Lyotard. The postmodern condition that came out in 1979 is the most important work. Try to remember the date of the work, The Postmodern Condition. The full name, A Report on Knowledge. It was written in 1979 by Lyotard, a French philosopher, related to postmodernism. What is the concept? The concept is the grand narrative versus the petit narrative. And being a postmodernist, he said, question everything, believe on the small narratives, petit narratives, rather than the grand narratives, right? So I hope you understood this concept. It was a quick concept for you, but it is often asked in the paper. If you have any doubt, you can ask me that in the comment section and I'll surely reply to you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day ahead.